We've been here before. Yeah, Joe says again. Looks like he's 3 or 4. Doing fine, just really cold. And confused. I'll be right there, I say, shivering. It's January, and Iowa winters are brutal. My maternity leave ended just 8 weeks ago. I've barely adjusted to my old schedule. But here I am, back in the mire of my job. I want to crawl into bed next to my husband, absorb the warmth of his body. But instead, I dress quietly and quickly. Before I leave, I gently rouse Adam, tell him that I'm going to check on an abandoned child. Be careful, he says sleepily before rolling over again. Will you listen for Avery? I ask. He grunts in response, and I take it for a yes. I pause outside Avery's bedroom door, fighting the urge to open it and kiss her goodbye. Even though she's my third, I still marvel at her tiny fingers, the way her eyelashes fan out, casting shadows on her cheeks, the sweet plumpness of her lips pursed as if deep in thought. Instead, I blow a silent kiss through the closed door. It wouldn't be fair to wake her and then leave. Adam is just as exhausted as I am and has to rise at 6 a.m. in order to take the kids to school and daycare before he begins his day as a high school history teacher and coach. It's basketball season, and sometimes he doesn't get home from out-of-town trips until close to midnight. In the dark, I zip up my winter parka, pull on a wool cap and gloves, and step out into the bitter late January cold. Dirty snow covers lawns and is piled into jagged dunes where shovels and snowblowers tossed the results of the last snowstorm. My breath emerges ghostly white beneath the street lamps as I unlock my van that is parked in our driveway and turn the heater to high. I grab an ice scraper. We have a one-car garage, and since Adam has been the one to take the kids to daycare and school, I insisted that he park his truck in the garage, so it will be at least somewhat warm when they leave in the morning. I slide the scraper against the windshield. The frost peels away in icy curls. The only sounds are my breathing and the soft rasp of the scraper sliding across the window. Singer Park is usually a 15-minute drive from my house, and though I'm anxious to get there and have so many questions for Joe, I force myself to drive slowly. The streets are cleared of snow, but still there are slippery spots, and I don't want to end up plowing into a tree or telephone pole. Cedar City is a different place in the middle of the night. By day, the bustling city is the second largest in Iowa, with a population of just under 200,000. Like all communities of this size, there are neighborhoods that hold families of all sorts. The large brick homes of the affluent, the more modest middle and working class communities, and the neighborhoods lined with narrow row houses converted into low-income apartments. There are the stark commercial areas with factories, car dealerships, restaurants, even a few strip bars. But on this Wednesday morning, the streets of Cedar City are all but deserted, and my hometown, the one I grew up in, appears peaceful. By the time I arrive at the entrance of Singer Park 20 minutes later, the heater has finally warmed the interior of the van, and I'm reluctant to step out into the frigid air. A young, nervous-looking police officer, his hands thrust deep into the pockets of his coat, approaches my van, and I roll down the window. "Park's closed, ma'am," he says. "You'll need to leave." I fumble in my purse for my license. "Detective Gaddy called me. I'm Ellen Moore, the social worker." I hand him my identification, and he examines it carefully from behind the glare of his flashlight. "I'll be right back," he says, and steps away from the van, and I quickly roll up the window. But all the warm air has been leached away. I watch as the officer speaks into his radio, and I know he's checking to see if I'm who I say I am. After a moment, he jogs back to the van, and once again I roll down the window. "You can drive on in," he says, returning my license. "Drive right up to the next set of yellow crime tape and park. You can't miss it." I follow his directions, and within a minute I see what he was talking about. 6 police cars are parked in a half-circle, their headlights facing the eerily lifelike statue, a rendition of the goddess Leto. I put the van into park and open the door. A biting gust of wind tries to slam the door shut again, driving me back inside, but I return the